Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kryptonite, the crypto investor channel. I'm Boris, so let's dive in. I'm with Colton today. Hello, Colton.
Hey Boris, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the Kryptonite channel, everyone.
All right, yeah. So today we're going to look at a little bit at some of the major news that we've been waiting for. So here it is. It's official. We are in a recession. 2 quarters contracting, meaning they're going lower. That's a negative number, minus 1%, minus 0.09%, exactly. But it's the second quarter in a row that the economy and the GDP is shrinking. So it's official. It is an absolutely, definitely a recession. As we see the Dow starting to go a little bit down, it's we'll see how it plays. Sometimes the big banks, they love to play with that stuff because there's a lot of money to be made in volatility.
Yeah,
Saying to people, oh yeah, it's not too bad, and then yesterday was like, oh yeah, the Fed didn't raise that much, so numbers go up, big banks start selling, boom, getting more cash on the side, and then the next day, it's a recession, maybe it's not that good, and then people start selling and those banks start buying.
yeah.
So it's always that old game of playing with the narrative all over the place.
My first question for you today, Boris, is you kind of already answered it, but what does it mean to have 2 quarters in a row red? You watch the news, they tell us we're not in a recession, but what do you think that means, being in the red for 2 quarters?
Well, you have the GDP on the first quarter of the year, it went negative. So it went down. We made, the US made less money. The economy made less money. And then when you have a second quarter going negative again, that means you are on a trend downward. Now, we could have a third and a fourth quarter that are red. Most of the time, very often, those only last 2 quarters. So it's usually short-lived. Recessions are short-lived. Plus, it's a lagging indicator because obviously it's telling you that the first 6 months of the year, we're not good, but we're already past that. In a way, it's just letting you know that, yeah, there's been a recession.
Gotcha.
We've seen the numbers for the unemployment. They're still pretty good, which is not necessarily good news because contrary to what people think, when the numbers are too high like this and there is a recession, it's like a bubble that also is about to burst. And so for unemployment and things like that, things might get, not good in the coming month. The bubble that just burst also yesterday was the real estate bubble.
Yeah.
And it's not in every country. Not all countries are, created equal. So, but definitely in the US, the bubble is starting to burst. The prices are going down. But also new home sales are going down. So it's just not good. It's overall it's a recession. It's never a fun time. It's never a great time. It's not the end of the world either. People are sometimes panicking like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's over, so on and so forth. No, it might not be too bad. But the inflation being around and a recession at the same time, it's definitely not a good recipe. So over the next few months, we're probably going to see a lot of volatility. We're going to see swings. We're going to see suddenly, Bitcoin going up to 24K and then dropping right back down to 18K,
Sure.
and it's going to be sometimes going to be sideways action, not going anywhere, and sometimes going to be pretty violent, where you're going to see $2,000-3,000 in a day price change for Bitcoin.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty interesting. And going back to our recent video, I did some research about your McDonald's comment, and that was very interesting to see. Every time there has been a recession, McDonald's stock has been up. So, that is something interesting that I did learn in our previous video that from you. But my next question for you, Boris, is where do you think we're going with this recession? Do you think it's going to be, until the next quarter? Do you think it's going to go all the way until next year? What do you think is going to happen with this recession? Are we going to see what happened in 2008, or what's going to happen?
But even 2008, it didn't last extremely long. We bottomed pretty quickly, and then after basically 2-3 quarters, we started coming back up.
Yeah.
We had bottomed quite a bit, so obviously, and we went sideways. I think here we're really most likely going to go sideways for a little while. And as you can see, that's 24 hours. So 24 hours ago, we were at 21,457. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, Jerome Powell talking, it's not that bad, everything is great. Boom, we go all the way up to 23,400, whatever. And then right now, we're back down to 22,800. If you look at the last 7 days, you see like we went up and then boom, we went back down, and then we come back up, and then probably we're going to go down again. And so we're going to see some swings up, down, up, down. And at some point we might see 24, and at some point we might revisit 18 or 17. And then there'll probably be one last bottom that people will feel like, oh my God, is this the end? And it's most likely going to be around 14 or 15,000 a Bitcoin. And at that point, like we already said, that will be the time where you really want to double or triple your DCA on a daily basis. Because even now, when you think about it, we are at a discount. Whenever you buy a Bitcoin at 21K and you look at 1 year, you're like, wow, that's pretty low compared to, the 60, 65, 69,000 back in November. But even if you look at, let's say, 2 years, 2 years ago, look at that, September, July, there we go. July, roughly, I'm going to say 16th of July, 2020, 2 years ago, 9,136. 9,136. Wouldn't you love to have bought Bitcoin at that price?
Yeah.
Knowing it's at 22, almost 23,000 today.
Yeah.
So buying Bitcoin right now, it is still at a very discounted price because it will go back up to 40. It will go back up to 60. It will go to new time highs. And it will go to probably 100, 150, 200, 250K within the next 5 years from now, and then 10 years from now, we might see $500,000 Bitcoin, maybe $1 million Bitcoin. Hard to tell, but it's definitely going to go way back up. And one day you'll look back at those numbers, 21,000, and you'll be like 22,000. You'll be like, wow, that I should have bought more.
Yeah.
It's a steal. But if we have a chance of one last drop, it's going to be Christmas shopping. I'm going to call it Christmas shopping. We're going to make a video and we're just going to go Christmas shopping at 14K, 15K, because that will be a price we will never see again. And it'll be such an awesome price to be able to get in and buy a bunch more. Okay. So, but over the next 2 months, probably we might see the final bottom. Maybe not. Definitely we're going to go a lot of sideways. We're going to have a lot of sideways because some days the market is going to feel great. Some other days it won't feel great.
Yes, sir.
So sideways, that's an awesome time for those bots, Bits Gap, what I've been showing, some of the videos that I've been showing and doing a little trading on automatic by the bots. I made very good money. On average, most of my bots are making 1 to 2% a week. And they're all trading on Binance on my account. This is not like on Celsius or some crap that they're going to steal your money or, do some funky stuff. So So it's a perfect time right now to do those little bots and make a little extra money.
Yes, sir.
But it's a good time to DCA right now. I'm buying right now. I'm buying slowly. Like I said the other day, I think we're going to see better prices, but I'm not stupid either that if we don't see that final bottom we expecting, if we don't see it, at least we would have bought some positions. We won't be without anything.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And then I think that towards the end of the year, we'll start see a rise. Maybe we'll revisit 30, 35 by the end of the year. That's very possible. And then next year, the same. We rise depending also on how well the economy does, how tame is the inflation. Then we might revisit 40, 45, 50, who knows where next year is going to take us. It's a little too early to predict too long in advance. But for the next 2 months, it's mainly going to be sideways and most likely downside. And then after that, we might see some rise, in October, November.
Okay, that makes sense. You've kind of answered my last question, Boris, but, for the people watching, a lot of people want to know at the end of the day, yes, a recession is going on. Do I huddle or do I huddle right now or do I sell everything that I have? What is the answer for them?
Yeah, no, I mean, selling right now, it's the downside is not going to be that big. All you're going to do is miss, the train or miss the boat whenever it's going back up. So selling now makes no sense. Selling at 40, selling at 50 or 60,000 a Bitcoin, that would have been a great move. But selling at 22, and let's say it goes down only back to 18, you're going to make very low money. So it's better to do little trading in this case. And like I said, the Bits Gap is great for that, for trading on automatic. You don't have to actually know how to trade. It does it for you. And it always makes money because it's based on a mathematical system where it's a grid. So it always buys slightly lower and then, sells slightly higher. And it takes just a small amount of profit every time. So it's small, but accumulated over days and weeks,
it adds up. Yeah,
it adds up. Yeah, and I'll show a cool one that I did with a coin that just started to 1 or 2 days ago, and that's doing very, very well. So I'll show that coin probably next week.
Awesome. I'll also make sure for the viewers watching to the end screen will be the Bits Gap video, so you'll be able to easily click on the Bits Gap video and kind of see what Boris is talking about with the trading bot.
So I think that's it for today, but don't panic. It's just a recession. It happens, every 10, 15 years. I mean, nothing ever goes up forever. At some point, it has to calm down. It's pretty much the first recession, though, for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. That's the first time that they're going to go through an actual recession, because they were creating at the last recession. Bitcoin was creating in 2009, right after the 2008 recession.
Yeah.
So the recession had already passed. This time it's kind of new for Bitcoin because it's going to live through its first recession. But I think it'll do okay. I'm sure we'll see that it'll do fine, unless there is a gigantic disaster, somewhere like a major war or some huge disaster on, the economy, or let's say China and the US going at it over Taiwan or something. But I don't think anybody's really in the mood to the economy is already not great. Neither the Americans nor the Russians nor the Chinese want to put more, crap on and more oil or more gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
Ukraine, it's a little different. The Russians see that like it's their own backyard, but the big powers, I don't think they're really, it's not in their best interest to jump at each other's throats. So I think that things are just going to move along, and we'll see how things. The big question is really how how's the inflation going to be in September, because there's no meeting in August. Those guys take 2-month vacation. So you're like, yeah, I can make fun of the Europeans, wow,
Yeah.
2 months vacation. So they'll resume their meetings about 2 months from now in September.
Okay.
And that's when we would have possibly, most likely, the next rate hike in the US.
Awesome. Thank you for all the information today, Boris. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. We hope the video helps. And if you liked it, put a thumbs up. And if you can subscribe, that'll be great as well. We'll love to have you with us on a regular basis. And that's it for today. See you next time, Colton. See you, everyone, on the next video of Kryptonite. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.